Okay, so if you're in the creative illness right now, meaning you're a creative person, had some sort of trauma growing up, found yourself preoccupied with either an existential void or some sort of creative idea, some sort of intellectual material, a trigger happens, you're then thrust into crisis phase, an existential crisis, a quarter life crisis, a meaning crisis, etc., etc. And now you're existing there, and the symptomology is consistent with mental illness. DPDR, OCD like ruminations and compulsions to try to get rid of it, anxiety, depression, suicidal ideations, these type of things. But you're simultaneously still that creative person, and you have some good work that comes out of this dark night of the soul, so to say. What if I told you there's a solution? A solution specifically for creative people going through the creative illness, the crisis phase. First, we got to tap the unconscious. If you're anything like me, or you're like the people that experience these things in the past, you're going through acrasia. Acrasia is when you can't get yourself to do the thing that you know that you should be doing. Sometimes that's making art, music, etc., etc. Sometimes that's going to the gym. Sometimes that's going for a walk. Use something similar to the melodious theory or Dowing in Storyism or psychic distancing to be able to tap the unconscious to give you a burst of movement so that you can start to get things done. Second, you want to start really small. You want to start so small that it seems futile. Instead of doing a 10-minute meditation, you want to try to stare at a candle for 10 seconds and see if you can do that. Don't try to be a daily, consistent David Goggins, badass motherfucker trying to do it. What you want to do is make a plan. Like, okay, if you can stare at the candle for 30 seconds, you want to do it 3 times a week for 30 seconds apiece. And it seems futile. It seems like, man, I'm better than that, but you're not. Because if you were, you would be. But you're not. So you probably should start at the level up under where you think that you are. So if you think, yeah, I can do that for 5 minutes, start with 2. If you think, man, I can only probably do that for 2 minutes, start with like 15 seconds. And then you want to trick the subconscious. You want to put the candle or put the thing that you know that you should be doing in the places that you typically find yourself. When you're trying to avoid the thing that you know that you should be doing, when those unpleasant, undigested emotions start to come up during boredom or when you feel anxious or something like that, you want wherever you find yourself at during the day, whether you're always at the kitchen table or you're always in your office, put the candle in the office so that when you try to avoid, when you think, man, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna watch some porn, I'm gonna scroll on TikTok, I'm gonna do anything except the thing that I know that I should be doing. The solution's right there. And you only gotta do it for 10 seconds. This will start to train your mind to turn to these mindful, imaginal, embodied dialogical techniques rather than the things that you use to cope with the emotions of the past or those undigested emotions that you never seem to get the hang of.